it's Jazz at Red Panda Reads, and today let's talk about why audio tapes are absolutely amazing and then do a very little audio tape book haul. So I have been listening to audio tapes since I was really young. I started off with Postman Pat on cassette, then moved on to the Harry Potters, listening to Stephen Fry's beautiful voice. Then as I got older, I went on to Jacqueline Wilson CDs, and then it's just continued, and now I will consume everything and anything I can via audio tapes. So the reason audio tapes were absolutely fantastic for me is, firstly, when I was younger, I watched the BFG, and the animated BFG story on video is terrifying. The bad giants, I was just sure were going to come and eat me alive from my bed, and therefore audio tapes were a great way when I was little for me to hide under the covers with my little light and my little cassette player and distract me from that fear of being eaten by giants. I have now grown up from that fear, but still, if I'm on my own in the house, I find having that kind of gentle voice reassuring and just comforting, I guess. In addition to that, I really struggled with reading when I was younger. I remember in year 3, one of my teachers getting really frustrated with me when I just couldn't read the word equals in a reading test. Similarly, I also really struggled with spelling, and I remember writing loads of stories and I'd give it to my teachers and they'd be like, "Jazz, could you tell me what you've written?" And I wouldn't be able to read a single thing of what I'd written. It was just really struggled. It was great, but the fact that I did have audio tapes to be able to read books when I couldn't physically read them myself. And basically it just is a completely different way to experience the story. It makes them accessible to a wider audience, and that's why everyone who says audiobooks are not reading, they are reading. You are experiencing the story, you're getting involved with the characters, and sometimes it can even lend itself really well. For example, non-fiction actually being read by the author is absolutely fantastic because you really get the feeling of what they've gone through. I'm listening to a book in verse at the moment with 2 narrators, and that works so beautifully, and if I was doing that myself and reading it, I wouldn't have quite as distinct kind of people in my mind because I would just kind of merge them together. So audio tapes I think are fantastic for all those reasons I have just said. I listen to them everywhere. So as I said, if I can't go to sleep at night, always put on an audio tape. When I'm washing up, when I'm walking somewhere, when I'm tidying, while I'm waiting for my videos to upload and I'm trying to procrastinate from doing anything else, I will listen to audio tapes. So now let's move on to a little audio tape book haul. So my Audible app had multiple deals on recently and I just couldn't resist getting a few books. I got The Crooked Kingdom, which is the second in the Six of Crows duology by Leigh Bardugo, and I enjoyed Six of Crows, re-listened to it recently with my partner and actually was blown away by how much I had missed and not really engaged with the first time I'd listened to it. So it's really looking forward to the second in that sequel. The first of the sequel is a YA fantasy heist book with really quite lovable characters and misfits who've just ended up in this cruel world and are being forced together to basically try and survive, and that, yeah, really good. The next books I've got are 2 sci-fis, and the first of those is Childhood's End by Arthur C. Clarke, I think. I was recommended this by Pay at Attention. I would really recommend going to check out their channel. They are one of the most creative booktubers I know. They have stop motion. Yeah, Pay's channel is just fabulous. He talked about Childhood's End, which is a sci-fi, I think written in 1940s, where aliens come to Earth, and I believe it was very ahead of itself for its time, so I am really excited to read that. I also got Annihilation, which is a book I have been wanting to read for ages after I saw the film and really enjoyed. It's about a shimmer that has covered an area of land, and scientists and researchers and military people are being asked to investigate it, but when they go into it, they never come out. So you follow a new group of people who are entering the shimmer and kind of find out what weird stuff is going on there. And I think it's got some weird kind of genetic-y stuff in it as well. And I wonder how much they actually go into the science of that and how correct it is, because that's something I find quite interesting because I love a bit of genetics. The next book I got was The Miniaturist, which is again why do I say again? It is a historical fiction set in the either 17 or 1800s about a woman who is gifted I think doll's house for her wedding present, and then there's a lot of underlying intrigue going on. That's all I know about it. I've had it recommended to me and it looks good. The other book I got was another YA book which has been circulating all around YouTube and just has a really, really lovely cover, and that is Scythe, which is set in an alternative world where at a certain age you basically have to end your life, and if you don't, you get hunted down by these people called the Scythe. Then the last book, which I have nearly finished, but because of having no internet this week, I have half an hour of the book left and haven't been able to finish it, and that is Clap When You Land. So this book is a YA contemporary which follows two half-sisters who don't know the other person exists, and their father dies in a plane crash, and this leads to them finding out that he was married twice and had two families and was living double lives. One sister is living in the Dominican Republic and the other is in America, and it explores both of their lives and what happens as they come together. And the things I've loved about this book so far is, firstly, it's written in verse. And initially I was a little bit skeptical of that for an audio tape, but they've got two narrators who are absolutely wonderful, and it just works really well and is really lyrical in nature, which is quite jarring to some of the quite harsh subjects which are discussed within this book. The other thing about this book that I thought was really fantastic was the fact that you've got these two girls brought up in completely different places, in completely different ways, yet one of the most similar things, even more than I'd say than their kind of connection genetically, is the fact that they are both women who experience the prejudices and sexism that society has created, and both have been put in absolutely horrific positions because they are women, and especially with everything going on in the UK, with the really sad event about a woman being kidnapped and the kind of misogynistic world we are living in, it was quite harrowing reading just how far and spread out it is across different cultures, and that there is that similarity wherever you are as a woman, and it needs to change. Clap When You Land is really, really fantastic. I would really recommend it. So that is my little book haul that I've done. I hope you enjoyed this impromptu video. I guess it's not impromptu because I planned it and I'm now doing it and you're now hopefully watching it. But let me know in the comments below your favourite audio tape, and just in general, have a wonderful week, guys. Stay safe in this crazy time, and lots of love to all of you. Bye bye.